Hey everybody, welcome to live Facebook chat here today, and you're probably here because either I'm popping up on your thing, so I'm going to wait a minute till some of you pop up and say hello, and then we're going to talk about fire an employee. Are you doing it right? Because I think this is a huge subject. Doesn't matter if you work for a company or you are the owner of the company. I have some insights that I want to share. So let's wait, see some people start to pop up here. Let's see, we got one viewer, two viewer. We got Frankie jumped in and Samo jumped in. So let's let a bunch more jump in. Looks like my hair's all frazzled today here. And we'll give it about 2 seconds, and then we're going to jump right into the agenda about, what is it about firing an employee? How do you deal with this whole concept? What are the frustrations that are out there? We're going to be on for probably about, 15 minutes or so, and then we'll join. I see a couple other people. Tim, how are you today? Thanks for joining me on this live Facebook chat here. And this is coconut water. In case you never, it's 14 grams of sugar in this thing. That's a lot of sugar, but it's all natural stuff. So if you are not drinking natural stuff, drink it. Not that that's why you're here. One more second, then we'll go live. We got about 3 viewers here. Frankie. So now you guys, if you want, while we're waiting a minute, if you guys want to go in the chat there, you could chat me and be like, hey, this is something I'm dealing with, or this is something, what's up? This is something that I want to know about firing or terminating people. And Walt, one of my Warrior students, just logged in there to check out me playing not the Hanchi part, martial arts instructor part, but in my other world here about firing an employee and stuff, which is just great information for everybody to know. So if you guys want, while we're on this, I can see the stream coming up. You could be like, hey, what's up? Or you could be like, here's a question I have about getting rid of bad employees, or what causes bad employees, or all that type of good stuff, right? So you guys can interact with me because I could see that going on, and it makes it a lot more fun for me than just sitting here talking at a screen. All right, let's talk about the problem first, the big problem, or the big, I guess, unspoken thing that nobody's saying about the issue. Hey, Eddie. Oh, yeah. Hiring event. Nice, Eddie. I'm excited for you. Eddie's one of, in the Warrior Circle. He's a badass business owner. So I'm excited to see him on here. So, and it's cool that he's doing a hiring thing tonight, because this is what it's about. The whole part about terminating employees is probably because something is broken on the front end of it, right? And when you think about it, you fire people not because they're underperforming or doing things. It's normally lack of clarity, lack of alignment, lack of really of an understanding. What did you expect from me? And one thing, now that I think we're hitting 180 employees, one thing that we are really clear about when we hire and engage people today is we make sure 2 things. One, what do you want from me? Okay, what do you expect from me, from the business owner? And number 2, what do I expect from you? See, normally today when companies are hiring people, they're just like, it's a one way. It's not a both way, right? And clarity and alignment is, I'm really clear on my expectations. What is my expectations on the level of energy you have, the level of communication you'll have, the level of leadership you have? What kind of behaviors will you have? If I say your start time is at 7 and you're here 10 seconds to 7 a.m. in the morning, should I be excited? No, I'm thinking you're late because you came in, now you want to go take a crap, you want to get a drink, you want to do all this stuff, right? But if I don't say, look, your shift starts at 7, but here's my expectation. You need to be here 15 minutes early, okay? So you're in the game, you're ready. I see some more people lined up. Dan lined up. He's a bodybuilding ninja out there lifting like 400 pounds and stuff. Jamie Miller, nice to see you. Glenn Dickey, nice to see you guys. Bunch of warriors jumping in on this. And we're talking about those that are new that just jumped on. We're talking about terminating an employee. And the reason why you really most of the time had to terminate somebody is because you're not clear on the engagement, the hiring, what you really expected them to do. Oh, snap, Cousin Bobby out there. What's up, Cousin Bobby? So you're not clear on the expectation with the person before I hire it, right? The number two thing that I would tell you that really keeps you in a good hiring practice with people, so you're not worried about this termination thing, right? I got employees here 12 years, 14 years, 8 years. I mean, man, we have more employees. They come and they stay for the reason why is we're really clear on what we expect. We're really clear on the level of performance. Like if you're here at the gold medal world, like you can't be a sleeper, right? You can't be a whiner. You can't be a nasty effer, right? Because if you are, we're going to invite you to go to another place and hang out. And that all happens in the beginning process. Number two is, what is the culture? What is the culture? What is the core values? What are the things we want? I mean, it's really clear here at Gold Medal. One, you're going to deliver amazing ass service. You're going to go over and above. You're going to exceed expectations. We're clear on how that really, really looks, right? We're really clear on safety here. Well, you know, doing plumbing and HVAC and all the things and driving trucks and backhoes and all the stuff we do, safety is really important. We are clear. It is safety first. You have to understand safety and you have to think twice, act once. You have to make a smart decision because people could get really, really hurt today. Integrity, having a high level of integrity, doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. It is important here. It is not a guess. There's no bait and switch stuff. We're not telling guys go out there and pretend something's broke. You know, it's important to have high level of integrity and great place to work, all for one and one for all. It's really important in a culture that everybody knows they are part of the team. And look, you're either playing with the team or you're not playing with the team. You see, I always hated when I would talk to my managers and they'd be like, so-and-so's such a lazy ass, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, have you communicated with them that he's a lazy ass? And they're like, well, I kind of. And I'm like, kind of is like, what the hell is kind of? I mean, kind of is like a moving target, right? So we make sure, look, along with the clarity, the understanding why you're here, what we're going to do, what you expect from us, making sure you're aligned with our core values, the culture, the feel, the fit of the company. And then the other one is the transparent truth. You guys have heard me, and I see Cousin Scotty's on there and Matt's on there. You guys have heard me say plenty of times before, you know, I'd rather deliver a hurtful truth than a comforting lie. So many people today are not transparent. Like, look, I see what you're doing. This can't work here, right? They just keep kind of like avoiding it. Which gets me to another point. It's the point of accountability. Accountability is a very, very healthy thing. I don't care if it's accountability you work for somebody, or it's accountability in your own business, or it's accountability to your wife or your significant other, whatever, accountability to your dog to let the damn dog out, whatever it is. The world seems to have this problem or issue, and I don't know if it's the whole world or it's just a lot of people that I see and people on Facebook. It's this accountability problem. You have to first, in order to ever hold anybody accountable to the expectations that you want, guess what? You better be damn sure you could hold yourself accountable to your own expectations. Most people want to be this, you know, this big leader, going to tell them to do this and that. And it's like, you don't even follow your own leadership. So let's do a little recap. Most of the time, terminations are a problem because of what you're not doing in the beginning. You weren't clear. There wasn't expectations. You didn't set a standard. You didn't set, how are we going to communicate? Now, I don't hire anybody anymore. I mean, my team does it because we're at that size now, unless they're a high level director or something. But I'm going to tell you one thing that I always did when I was doing the interviewing and hiring that was really important. Look, when you're doing really good, how do you want me to tell you? How do you want me to tell you you're doing amazing? I mean, some men today, it's like, man, throw me a knuckles. It's like, boom, that's like worth $1 million. Just acknowledge me. Some people want money, and that's cool too. There's no right or wrong. But I know when someone does good, what do they want from me? What are the words of encouragement? What's the coaching? What's the positive impact? I also want to know, how do you want me to tell you that you're pissing me off? You're upsetting me. I mean, you know, some people today, They used to tell me, just give it to me raw, tell it to me the way it is. I mean, just say it loud, and I'm good with that, right? That's the old school mentality. Today you go to a 18-year-old and you tell them, stop the bullshit. They go home and they cry to mommy and stuff. Not all of them, but a lot of them aren't being brought up with this real, let me tell you how it is, and then take the medicine, right, and change yourself. But I think the part is being really clear with everybody that I interviewed when they came aboard. What do you want from me? How do you want it? Because if I go to an overly sensitive person, and I'm a pretty strong personality, and I deliver it the way I want it, it may not be the most impactful. See, here's what I want you to remember, everybody out here. Nobody ever quits a company. Nobody ever quits a company. It's probably one of the biggest statements or comments I'm going to make that you want to think about is they really quit the manager, right? They quit the leadership that is right above them, okay? Yeah, you might say, oh no, a guy left for $1 or $2 an hour. Nobody's left at a company they love that they know. I've been fighting for the livelihood now. This is 22 years in business for me. I've been fighting for the livelihood of these people. Most of my people probably could go out and get, anybody will throw $1, $2, $3 at these guys. Now, will they have the consistency that I've had for 22 years? Will they have an owner like me that is always pushing the limits, pushing them to be better as I push myself to be better? No, hell no. Hell no, that they're definitely not going to get that. I don't know of any other companies that do what we do, that the owner is there and engaging and making sure not only are they growing in their career to get better at their career, but they're growing. How do you be better as a man or better as a woman? We happen to just have all men on here, so I can say as a man, right? I mean, at the end of the day, right? And I know we're talking about this, how to fire an employee and stuff, and you're doing it right, but it's really, it's not that part you're doing right. And I'll give you tips if it comes to there. We'll talk about something. Let me just write a note down here. We'll talk about if we get to the point and we did make a bad decision, or maybe it was a bad apple. I mean, maybe if your parameters or your things in place are not good enough to catch the idiot, even an idiot can sneak through on the very, very best, right? Let's talk about some things that I think are really clear to make sure that there's a healthy environment with who you're working on. We already talked about clarity and alignment. That creates accountability, right? It creates accountability. The other thing is you want to be sure that everybody in the company knows, look, when you are on board, there's steps to accountability. There's steps to discipline, right? One of you mess up, I'm going to tell you, and I'll tell you the way you want. We're going to document this stuff because today in this world, right, everybody's trying to sue everybody. You got to be really documented and stuff with what you're doing. Number two, I mean, if you make the mistake twice, I mean, I got to go to the next level, right? I got to write your ass up, whatever your process is. But I'm going to tell you the biggest protection today, and also clarity and alignment is, see this piece of paper here? Okay, your ass is going to sign this piece of paper, right? We're going to agree we both see the same thing. You know the rules and guidelines. You break the rules and guidelines. Now we're on the same page. If you make a mistake here the third time and you're showing me you have a lapsed brain or whatever's happening, you're going to take a week off, right? You're going to hang out with your wife for a week and you're not getting paid nothing. You're going to ponder, and you're going to ponder if you're going to come back and play in this world. Are you going to play as a team? Because it can't be a great place to work just for you. And if you're causing problems, then it's a great place to work for you, but it sucks for everybody else, right? And then number 4, and here's where I notice a lot of business owners, managers, wherever you're watching, you probably watch it in a company that you work in, that people make a mistake, and they just keep like, okay, talking. It's like, no, man, 4 steps, you're out, you're gone. Okay, you're out. You shown me you're a constant mistake maker. I must have been not clear on what the expectations are. And I think people have become, they like to we settle for people that are just okay, right? That's why I love the movie Walking Dead. The Walking Dead's an awesome movie, and my point will be made in a minute. Some of you have heard it before. Some people are like, I don't like that movie, it's gross. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. Watch on Facebook, watch in the mall, watch in life. The Walking Dead's happening. People are just, they're just like, my ass hurts, my knees hurts. They're whining about everything. And you want to say, look, imagine if you were a Spartan, like you're going to go fight with Spartans and you walk up and you're like limping, you're like, my ass hurts. Spartan be like, let me just cut you down, right? Because you have to want to be the very best. See, when you're the very best in a company, you're going to attract others that are very best and want to play at that level. And the whole thing that I want you to get at this, right, is nobody wants to terminate people. Like, we're messing with people's livelihoods. Nobody wants to, go out there and say, look, you failed, go figure it out someone else. I mean, all of us, even myself, knows what it's like to all of a sudden one day you have a job and tomorrow you don't. Now, some of you have chose to just make that decision. And some of you have said, the decision was made for you and you're like, it sucks, but in the long run, you probably found out it was the best thing. And I would say if you're listening to this and you work for a company, right, understand that, I think the concept of being the very best you plays a really big part in life today. Like, if you have small children, old children, I mean, you have to be the very best you so that you're leading by example. If you're married or whatever, you got to be the very best you today. And so many people are just, right, The Walking Dead. They're just complacent as hell. All right, let's do one last part, and then we're going to bounce on this. That I want to let you know, besides having, the 4 steps of discipline, making sure you have a clear understanding. How do you want me to praise you? How do you want me to discipline you? How are we going to communicate on a regular basis? What are the expectations so we don't have, because I got to tell you, if you go back, if you go back maybe 12, 13 years ago, I mean, I was a revolving wheel. It was like higher fire. And I got to the point, I don't know what they used to call me, sledgehammer or axe, or I don't know what the hell they call me, but I had no emotion around it. I actually had to remove emotion from it because, I was terminating people that I knew it was their livelihood. They weren't a fit. They made mistakes, but I didn't know any better. The reason I'm giving you my time right now is because if just one of you hear one part of this message, just one thing, whatever it is, if it's a lesson thing and you took that, you better step the hell up in life and lead it, because you got one chance here, right? And you're not a cripple. There's people, I watched the guy the other day, right? He's a farmer. He has like no legs and he has little stump arms and he's a farmer and he's excited as hell about life and he's like raking his, I was like, holy crap, this dude's happy as hell working his ass off, and someone else got a little bump on his knee and they're whining, and they're complaining every single day. So, I just want you, I'm giving this time hopefully to just impact. I just want to impact one person's, the way they think about something. If it is, you're going to hire somebody, or maybe you're a manager and you're going to manage your team better. Or maybe you're not setting up clear expectations and you're going to set clear expectations for that. Last part, I'm going to tell you the biggest awakening part, the biggest part. And hi, Pauline. And I see Derek logged in. How you doing, Eric? And Derek and my mom logged in because she loves to watch me just talk on this, even though I was just on the phone with her. But the thing I'm going to tell you, the biggest enlightening parts for me was not the terminating part, the part of, and if you are one of those people that just easily say, boom, you're out, you got to check yourself, because I was shutting down my emotions so I could deal with that, because I knew what I was doing. I'm sending him home to his wife and kids to say, now I got to figure it out, right? And in the end, I started to look at, well, you know what? I was always doing this. It's you. It's your fault. It's his fault. It's he's stupid. He's lazy. This, and I say, saying to myself, wait a minute. Maybe it's my fault on how the hell I was hiring. Maybe it's my fault on the way I'm leading. Maybe it's my fault on my level of leadership and communication. The minute you could look in the mirror at yourself, and instead of always going like this, pointing at everybody else, you could say to yourself, what is it that I'm doing that's causing this outcome? Right? What am I? And look, it's just like health, right? What is it that I'm doing, I'm eating, I'm drinking, I'm not whatever, that's given me? It's not the world's fault that there's McDonald's, Burger Kings, and Subways so close, right? Sometimes you just got to look in the mirror and look deep inside and point at yourself. Here's the big one before we bounce. The 8, Steve Adario jumped in, another badass warrior out there. Here's the thing that I learned the most from. It's the exit interview. It's at the time it didn't work out. It wasn't being able to be solved, right? And sitting down and really asking, thanking them, look, I don't know whose fault it is, but give me the information. If there was things that I could do better. It's not about you now. I clearly failed because you're not here no more. And I take that as a failure. Any leader who has men or team below them or manage a company, like when people leave, it's you're the failure unless they're relocating out of state. And when you look at that, you'll take that ownership and really solve this. But during an exit interview, asking strategic questions. What was the best thing that happened when you were here? What's the worst thing? If you were to give me insight from your perspective now that you're leaving on how I can improve my company, my culture, the whole structure, what would it be? And I'm going to tell you that some of the best feedback I got was from people that I had to let go, because at that point they had nothing to lose, right? I mean, they're leaving. They're like, I'm out of here. I'll tell them. And the best part is they'll tell you the hardcore truth. And some of it you can't see because you're just, you get delusional because you're in the game, right? You're in the game of business and life, and it's easy to see just what you want. And all of a sudden, some of the stuff you don't want to see, I mean, how many of you out there work for a company or own a company and you've seen the stupid stuff happening? I mean, you've seen it over and over again, but what do they call it? You turned a blind eye to it, right? And all of a sudden, it's like that blind eye is normally a damn near cobra or something. It doesn't get better on its own. It's going to get worse. It's just going to come. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this. Do me a favor, when I get off this, do me a favor, post what is the biggest nugget? What did you get? One thing, and then action steps are the only thing that's going to get your results. So don't listen and consume information and then get off this and like, Mike's so happy today. You don't know if I'm happy or not, right? I just want to know, what did you take? What the hell are you going to do with the information? Because that's what's going to change the game for you, your family, whoever you're managing, your employees and everybody, is execution on what you hear. Don't be one of these people out there that get amazing information and then guess what you do? You do nothing with it. You're like, oh, I know this. And I'm like, okay, the difference between knowing and getting results, right, is execution. What's Cousin Scotty's hair? Mike has motivated me for 35 years. Love you, Scotty. Thank you for that. That's awesome. So make sure, post some great insight. Tell me what you heard, because this is also going to help you grow as a leader, and it's going to help everybody else below. Maybe they missed one of the phrases. Last thing I'll leave you with, I don't care if you're a child, a man, a woman, a leader, a manager, an employee. I don't care what you are. Look, the warrior's way is how to live and lead by example. So when you go out there after this call, lead by example, lead it with power and strength, because that makes the difference between ending your life super strong or ending it weak as hell. All right, have a very great day, everybody.